Hey guys, welcome back to another video. This one was kind of a request because just a few days ago I did the absolute best mods based on most downloads, so technically you guys chose that list. But today I'm doing the absolute best mods that I ended up loving that came out in July, and mods that I just can't seem to get rid of once I added them to my mod list. So some are a little popular, but most of these are surprisingly underrated. So if you end up liking this video or maybe find a mod that you weren't aware of, make sure you hit that like button down below. And if you're feeling generous, maybe subscribe to the channel because you can always take it back. The first few mods I have to mention is kind of ones I've already mentioned multiple times, so I'll breeze through them pretty quickly. Like Whiterun has walls redone. Just completely overhauling the walls of Whiterun in a way that possibly that you might also change the view of it, because generally in vanilla Skyrim, Whiterun just kind of looks weak and undefensed, but with these walls they actually seem quite menacing. So I guess it kind of makes sense now that Ulfric never attacked until he needed to. This mod has become an absolute essential mod in my mod list. You just generally won't see it in my showcases. Just like the next mod, overhauling Draugr with the simple mod called Draugrs. It's a pretty simple name actually. This mod just changes the textures and mesh of Draugrs, making them actually look like they're half decayed dead bodies. The best part about this though is that I used the Restless Dead, which didn't originally have a patch, but it recently just got patched. And the next mod is of course dragon combat animations, providing new attacking animations to dragons when they are on the ground, so they aren't just chomping at you like wolves. Like I said though, these three I've showcased at least maybe 2 or 3 times, but on different occasions, so I just wanted to skip through them quickly so you can know that I always have them. But now we can get into the underrated mods that have pretty much become essential in my playthrough. But if you want more in-depth showcases, you can just watch my older videos, those are still available. But now we got mods I didn't really give much attention to, with the first one being a skeleton replacer by Fourth Unknown. This mod is called Skeleton SE, because they always also upload to Legendary Edition Skyrim for people that still use that version, so it makes sense that this one is just SE. But this mod overhauls skeletons with textures that make them look way better than what you'd see in vanilla, but also changing their mesh to make them actually look a little terrifying. Now this kind of just needs a patch for the Restless Dead and we will be good to go, because these are hands down the best skeletons that you'll find on Nexus. But if you don't use the Restless Dead, then you have no reason to wait to use this. Up next we have another creature mod, but this time not overhauling their look. If you do want the look, that is simply better wolves, but this mod we're overhauling the animations and the combat of wolves with the mod called Wolves Combat Animations, or DNFA. This mod completely changes the way wolves act during combat, so you may find them attacking much more often than usual, or even dodging certain attacks. This mod is similar to Scarf NPCs that allow them to combo, but that's usually only for humanoids, but now this is for wolves. Now they will combo with new animations provided to them, also included in this mod, to make them really dangerous. I did receive a comment saying they didn't like the shoulder or the back bash from the wolves, which I can kinda admit is a little weird to me, but this is a fantasy game, and I do prefer it over them biting in the air and taking half your health. So sometimes you just have to cope with things. Up next we have a mod called Evolving Locations Cliffside Retreat. This is more of a series if I'm being honest, but this is the one of the series I didn't show yet. The way that this mod works is based on time spent in the game, or you just visiting the location. You can choose when installing. It will be perfectly fine and normal as in vanilla, but if you wait about 40 in-game days, or when you visit the place then come back, you'll find the place completely destroyed and taken over by a bear. Hence the Evolving Locations name. But what's really great about this is completely dynamic. It won't stay that way for long either. As more time passes, more changes will occur to this location. So a hunter will take up the home, killing the animal, and just to repair it over time, until it is fully repaired. Of course you can kill the bear yourself, it won't break anything with this mod, but why mess with nature when this mod is going to do everything for you? And honestly, if you like this one, you should just go and grab every single evolving location. There's only 3 for now, but I expect the series to keep going. Up next, a bit of an odd one for me, but we got a magic mod by Kittytail. I usually only add Kittytail magic mods for a showcase then remove them right after, but I actually really enjoyed this one called Wildwaker Magic. This mod adds 8 floor based spells to your game that are kind of balanced for once. I have to say, generally Kittytail has some pretty overpowered magic, but this one was implemented nicely. Each spell doesn't cost over 800 magicka to cast, and they are pretty easy to use during combat. There isn't really any utility ones here. They are all pretty much made to dish out as much damage as possible, and I actually support that for once. Sometimes the simple things just kind of work better in a huge mod list. But the main reason why I put this on my must-have for July is because how well it fits into Skyrim. It adds a new genre of basically magic, kind of just like a nature magic genre. I know there's probably better nature spells out there that does a lot more, but this one is just so simple, so it works very well for me. And like I said, most of these spells kind of just look different and do damage differently, but at the end of the day, they are all kind of the same in terms of just applying damage, just applying it differently. Also, just as a quick side note, the magic runes that you're seeing, because I know someone is going to ask even after I say this, but those strange runes that you're seeing is from a mod called Strange Runes. Strange Runes pretty much applies runes to any magic that you cast when you're casting it or just charging it up. I'll still answer as long as you ask nicely though, but I know someone is going to ask about that. I just kind of find it funny how I get more questions about mods that I use in my mod list rather than the actual mods that I'm showcasing. Anyway, back to this mod. The spell tome for each of these can be found at a vendor or any random vendor, even Bellathor, so all you have to do is wait until they appear. And also you have to have enough magicka because then you can't cast them. So it should be a simple mod to use. I'm kind of starting to get attached to kitty tail mods honestly. But one quick little glitch I wanted to mention for the people that made it this far, one of the spells, specifically the Reaper spell, which is the most powerful, costs 800 magicka to cast. It is set up to be an instant kill for NPCs under 300 HP, but the reason I'm mentioning it is because when I was fighting the giants earlier in the video, using it on them actually healed them back to full health, and I'm pretty sure that wasn't intended, but maybe it's a compatibility issue with my LUT. But up next we got one severely underrated mod called Gorgeous Giant Camps Compilation. FuzzBeed has been recently mass releasing a bunch of small terrain edits and add-ons to locations that no one really has overhauled lately. And this time they added their giant camp overhauls into one big compilation. And yes, this is compatible with Rhine's Bleak Wind Bastion and Secunda's Kiss because FuzzBeed didn't touch those locations. He mainly aims for the underrated or forgotten locations that no one really bothered to overhaul. But these aren't massive FPS destroying overhauls, just simple ones that definitely add to your immersion as you explore Skyrim. Like you're 100% going to be able to tell the difference that this mod makes. But some locations are kind of smaller in terms of changes than the other, but some have a lot of little additions. I'm not sure if these changes were made based on lore of the location or if they were just having fun. But either way, this all-in-one is definitely staying in my mod list now. I really do hope they keep this series going and don't just give up randomly midway like some mod authors do, but we can only hope. But speaking of FuzzBeed, we got one more mod from them, overhauling Hamvir's Rest. This mod is called Hamvir Dustman. This mod changes up the entrance to the Dustman Cairn, making it actually seem like an important location, like it pretty much always should have been. This doesn't touch the interior of Dustman, so it doesn't need a Lux patch if you are wondering about that, but it does unfortunately mess with the roads, but luckily there's already a Lux Via and Northern Roads patch for those who use those. If I'm allowed to throw in some bias here, this is 100% the best location FuzzBeed has done so far, and hence why I really hope they keep this series going because there's a bunch of cairns dotted around Skyrim that might need a little bit of love if they get something similar to this. And if you thought I was trying to guilt trip them into doing this, I definitely am. But moving on to a mod that overhauls a weapon in Skyrim, namely for Harkon with Harkon's sword. This mod is called Kanjs Harkon Animated Sword. And based on the name, yes, it completely overhauls Harkon's sword if you even knew that was a thing because some didn't for some reason. But it overhauls this sword with new animated effect, but also new meshes and textures to go along with the new sheath that this mod also added. Because if you hadn't noticed, adding sheaths to weapons wasn't really Bethesda's focus when it should have been. I mean, I guess this wouldn't really be your main focus because it's going to be a while before you even get a chance to get this sword, but it's 100% worth having this in your mod list because now you might actually want to use this sword for once. And at least for its aesthetic rather than just its stats. Sometimes I sacrifice armor and damage for style, but I feel like we all do that now. But speaking of style, one of the most underrated FuzzBeed new mods, a mod overhauling the Master Dragon Priest, but mainly just adding variants to them. This mod is called Dragon Priest Hood Variants. This mod adds new variants to every single Dragon Priest mask in Skyrim. All you have to do is get that mask and then you can pretty much switch between no hood or hooded variants. There is no limitation to how many times you can switch, the item is never destroyed, it's just switch between them. You can only have one variant of said mask per mask. Honestly, mask with hood is all I need to make my character look cool because I mean, I'm wearing basic iron armor with this and I could probably use this on Reddit and Skyrim porn, which is not actual porn there by the way, that's actually banned, and get some upvotes, mainly downvotes though because they're a little mean, but you get the point. I think that was pretty much it for today, guys. I could have possibly made this longer, but let me know what you thought down below in the comments and what mods was your favorite in July. But as of right now, I hope you have a great rest of your day. Peace and love, guys.